Hi guys, welcome. Pardon the environment. I just finished working out and I decided to use this opportunity to continue sharing the story of my life with you. I hope you guys don't mind the environment. That morning, I was about to make breakfast when my mother suddenly told me not to bother. She said, "Leave it. You don't need to worry about making breakfast. I'll do it." Then she went further and said that from that moment on, she would be the one making breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything. She said I didn't have to worry about cooking anymore. I smiled inwardly because deep down I know why she suddenly changed. But I still pretended to be concerned, so I asked her, why? She simply told me not to question her. I told her that if she wouldn't tell me the reason why she had stopped me from cooking, there was no problem. At least I had been relieved of the duty of cooking. Perhaps she thought I would poison them, but that was never my intention. My intention was to make them suffer, just the way they had abused me, molested me, and made my life miserable for years. I needed to know the main reason why my supposed mother and father had come to the conclusion of abusing me. I needed to understand what had happened and why they had chosen to do something so horrible. So I decided to get more information from them, especially because it seemed like neither of them had spoken about the issue again. While my dad was about to drive to work, I slipped a note onto his driver's seat. It was written in a different handwriting, and in capital letters, it simply read, "Child molester." I stood by the window, opened the curtains slightly, and watched him as he opened his car door. The moment he saw the letter and read it, he froze. He looked scared. He quickly looked around, as if trying to figure out who could have left the note there. Then I saw him walking rapidly back into the house. I quickly sat down in the parlor. I couldn't miss the opportunity to get more information and finally understand what had really happened. So I sat there with my siblings when I saw him storm into the house. I noticed that my siblings looked confused as they watched what was going on. I told them not to bother about it, that it was just a little disagreement between both of them. I switched on the television for them so they could distract themselves, then quickly stood up and went to eavesdrop on their conversation. That was when I heard my supposed dad telling my mom, "Woman, how could you have left this in my car seat? What kind of game are you trying to play? What's your motive for all this nonsense you're pulling? Do you want me to remind you of how this whole thing started?" My mom told him, "Keep your voice down, the kids are in the parlor. Don't tell me to keep my voice down." My father said, "Are you trying to scare me? Or is it because you told me to stop the other night and I told you we would see this to the end? Is that why you're threatening me?" He continued, his voice filled with anger. "Let me tell you something. You are an agent of the devil herself. And I'm not a saint either, because probably I did most of the job, but I'm still better than you. You're a wicked woman. And what we did to that girl, we will live to suffer for it. So stop all this blackmailing you're trying to do." "I'm not blackmailing you," my mom said, "and I don't know where that letter came from. But there's one thing I will not disagree with you about. I'm truly evil. I still can't believe that I plotted something so evil against a little child. Just because my ex-boyfriend raped me, my heart sank. I had been suffering and being punished for something I didn't even know about. Still, I kept quiet and listened to their conversation. Why didn't I just let it go?" my mom said. "I was so hurt, deeply and emotionally damaged, that I vowed to take revenge on his offspring, no matter how long I had to wait. I plotted against him, and that night at the hospital, while his wife was giving birth, I paid the nurse to tell her that their baby was stillborn. Meanwhile, I had already bought the child and brought her home." "Hold on," my mom said to my dad. "I think you are the wicked person here. At least, it's understandable that I was hurt. I was the one who was raped, and that was what motivated me to take such an action. But you, when I suggested this to you, why didn't you stand your ground and say you would never do such a thing to a child? Any man with a conscience would hear something like that and either stop it immediately or divorce his wife for even suggesting something so evil against a child. But no, you only protested for 3 days. Why did you give in? Why?" The next thing I heard was the sharp sound. My dad slapped my mom across the face. "How dare you talk to me like that?" he said. "After everything we've been through, you have the nerve to call me names? If I were really one, then why didn't I sleep with our daughter? Why didn't she entice me?" His voice was filled with anger and desperation. "I was only following your plan blindly. Like I said, I'm not a saint, but we'll all pay for what we've done. But right now, the most important thing is figuring out who else knows about this. Because this letter I received didn't just magically fly into my car." After hearing everything, I knew the conversation was over for now. I quietly walked back into my room, closed the door behind me, and locked it. Then I cried. What was my offense? I didn't even know what had happened, let alone have any part in it. How could someone, a mother for that matter, have such evil thoughts against a little child? This was beyond anything I could comprehend. It was the height of abuse. Why didn't they go after the man who raped her? Why didn't my mother report him to the police? Why didn't they seek justice against him instead of turning their anger and pain toward an innocent child? What did any of this have to do with me? Why was I being punished for something I never did? Why was my life being dragged into the consequences of someone else's actions? So many questions raced through my mind, but I had no answers. All I could do was sit there, cry, and wonder how the people who were supposed to protect me could have ever thought of hurting me in the first place. I waited patiently. I calculated my every move and waited for the right opportunity. Weeks went by, and then one day, my mom decided to travel back to the village for the August meeting. I waited patiently. That was when I put my plan into motion. When my dad left for work, I secretly followed him. I waited until he parked his car, then carefully made sure no one was watching before writing on his windscreen, "I know your secret. Give me back my child." As soon as I was done, I hurried home. I didn't wait around to see his reaction because I knew the message alone would scare him, and knowing that my mom was out of town would make it even more frightening for him. As far as he knew, it was my mom who had been trying to blackmail him. He would never suspect that I was the one behind the message. I called my son and started helping him with his homework. I also helped my sister with her assignments. But this wasn't out of willingness. It was all part of my plan. I wanted to make sure that when my dad came rushing into the house, he would see us studying. He wouldn't know exactly when we had started, so I made sure there were plenty of books spread across the parlor, making it look as though we had been studying for a long time. As I was helping my sister, my dad suddenly rushed into the house. He was sweating heavily and looked visibly shaken. Stay tuned so you don't miss out on my revenge plan. Well, don't miss me too much. See you on my next episode. Bye!